Hey guys, this is the Never Ending Reader. I'm Brittany and welcome to my August TBR. A few quick disclaimers. Number one, I know my hair looks ridiculous. I braided it before bed and now it looks like this and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Number two, I know that I didn't post any reading rush vlogs and that is because my technology is all absolute trash right now, so I'm sorry about that. No vlogging until further notice, until I figure out like what to do about my life. And number three, August is like a halfway busy month for me, so we'll see how much of this I get done. I always overestimate how much I can read, but whatever, it's gonna be fine. So I am going to be participating in the NEWTs and we will talk about those books first, but I did Owls however many months ago, I don't even remember, and I went ahead and looked back at my papers for the Owls, and I remember I went for Herbologist and I did complete all of those challenges in that month. And so for NEWTs, I'm definitely going to try to do the herbologist career. So first off, let's get into those. So I will link all of the NEWTs information down below, but basically I need to get an O in herbology, an E in potions, and then an A in care of magical creatures. So in order to get the O, I have to get the A, E, and O for herbology. And so the A is to read an audiobook, and for this I'm going to go with the Series of Unfortunate Events audiobook. I just read The Miserable Mill, and I don't know where my copy of the next book is. I think it's the Auster Academy or something. I can't remember. I haven't read them since I was really little, but I am going to be reading the next audiobook for this challenge. And then to get an E in herbology, I need to read a book between 350 and 390 pages, and for this I'm going to go with The House by Christina Lauren. I'm starting up early on my like spooky stuff, so I thought like August would be appropriate to read this. I think it's just like a haunted house story and maybe like a young adult romance combined. I'm not really sure, but I've heard good things about these authors. So I think Christina Lauren wrote like a few adult books. I think they are like adult romances, so I'm excited to see where this one goes. And then to get an O in herbology, you need to read a book with flowers on the cover, and for this I'm gonna go with a little bit of a stretch. And I'm going to be reading The Bargaining by Carly Ann West. I'm not even really sure what this is about. I think it's like another haunted house type of story. And like, look, I know there's not flowers, but like there's definitely maybe dead flowers. And I'm just going to roll with it because I want to read like spooky stuff this month really bad. And so I'm just going to do it. And I wouldn't be a Slytherin if I wasn't bending the rules in my favor a little bit. So it looks like this book is about a girl who has to spend the summer with her stepmother, like fixing up this like really busted up old house in the middle of the woods. And I don't know, it's probably haunted, maybe it's not, but either way I'm excited for it and I like just really love that cover. Moving on to potions, to get an A in potions I need to read a book with my Hogwarts house colors on it, and as I said, I'm a Slytherin. And so I'm going to go with Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, and I'm doing this because like the back and like the spine is green, so like whatever, it's fine. And I think this is about like an apocalypse and like something about Shakespeare, but I've heard it compared to If We Were Villains, which is like one of my favorite books of all time, so I'm definitely excited to get into this one. And I also think the cover of this one is just really cool, so I am very excited. And the next potions challenge is to read a book that is recommended by your friend. And for this I'm going to go with Glass Houses by Rachel Kane. I have it here on my Kindle if you can see it. And this was recommended by Chloe. I think it's one of her favorites and it's like maybe like a vampire type of deal. So I am excited for that. I hope it's like an easy, fun, like no thinking type of read because I recently read a book called Hex Hall and it was like kind of cheesy and I really liked it and I kind of hope that this has like the same type of energy. And then the last challenge for the NEWTs is going to be for care of magical creatures, and to get an A you need to read a book that starts with the letter A, and for this I'm going to go with Artemis by Andy Weir. I've heard really good things about this and I'm pretty sure it's a movie now, so that might be fun to watch after I finished it. So I think this is about like a girl who like goes to live in a city on the moon, and I need some sci-fi in my life, so really excited for this one. I have had a startling lack of sci-fi the past few years and I'm ready for it. Okay, so those are all the books that I'm going to be reading for NEWTs, and so let's just move into the other things that I'm going to be reading, hopefully if I find time. I'm really trying my best, and I suppose I don't need this wand anymore. Big shout out to my Uncle Rod for buying me Bellatrix's wand, isn't it so beautiful? And now I have a reason to use it because I'm doing my NEWTs. So in the next couple of days, I'd really like to finish Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng and Legendary by Stephanie Garber because I am halfway through both of these and I need to finish them immediately. I was buddy reading this with Chloe and then I legitimately lost the book and now I found it, so it's time to finish it. I was enjoying it up to this point and now I'm just kind of like meh about it because I didn't pick it up for like a week, so there's that. And then Legendary is the second book in the Caravel series, which I was also reading with Chloe, and we like took a little break, but I'm going to be reminding her because I really like this book like a lot. Caravel is like one of my favorite like atmospheres in the world, and I'm really in the mood to read some just like super atmospheric spooky like stuff, which I already said, so very hyped to be finishing this one. I bet I could finish it in like a day because that's how much I really love this series. And then I already showed you my Kindle earlier, so you might have already seen, but I am like 70% of the way through 5 Feet Apart, and so I'm definitely going to be finishing that probably tonight, so maybe it won't even be in my August TBR because I'm filming this on the last day of July. So yeah, those are the 3 books that I'm in the middle of and hoping to finish within the next like 2 to 3 days. Oh, and I also forgot that I am reading The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan on my phone, on my Kindle app before I go to sleep at night, so I'm just like slowly kind of making my way through this. It like puts me to sleep every night, so I'm like not actually trying to finish it this month. I'm just letting you guys know that I have been like reading through it and it's kind of like my sleepy time book. So yeah, I am making my way through that. As far as last month's TBR jar goes, I pulled out 4 books. I unhauled one, which was Confessions of a Shopaholic. I just didn't want to read it and I probably never will. And then the second book I did read, and it was Leaving Time by Jodi Picoult, and it was just so good. Which leaves me with 2 leftover books that I'm just going to be reading this month. So I'm going to be reading Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. I think this is just like an adult contemporary. Don't know too much about it, so I am going to be reading that. And then I'm going to be reading The Shadow Queen by CJ Redwine. I actually picked this up last month and I was going to start it, and then I read like 3 pages and realized that the writing like wasn't really my cup of tea, and then I saw it was like over 400 pages and the lettering is like really tiny, so I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this during like the reading rush where I'm like really stressed, so hopefully I get to it this month. If not, I'll just carry it over into September because I'm not going to stress myself out. Okay, and then I have 4 more books here that I'd like to get to. First off is Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. I'm going to be reading this with Sophie. We have been buddy reading 1 a month, and so now it's like the dreaded Ruin and Rising month, which I don't love this book, but I am excited to like tab it up with all my page tabs and like have a good time buddy reading because me and Sophie are like pretty hilarious about our buddy reading. And next month is Six of Crows, so very hype about that, and I'm probably going to be starting this tomorrow. And this would not be a 2019 TBR video if I didn't mention that I really want to read Night Shift by Stephen King, and I never ever do it. Maybe this will be the month that I actually pick it up, but I really need to do it. I feel like I'm cursing myself because I've been trying to read it since like probably January or maybe even earlier than that. So I really need to get on this. Somebody needs to like message me every day and be like, read Night Shift, otherwise I won't ever get to it. By the way, this is an anthology of short stories by Stephen King. I'm sure I've said it a million times, so that is that. And then I'm also going to be reading Suffer the Children by John Saul for a secret video that will be up in the next week or 2, I'm hoping, because I'm going to be starting this soon, so you will see very shortly why I'm reading this, and I can't really give a synopsis for this aside from it's like a mystery thriller, and I'm very excited to read it. And lastly, if I have any extra time, which who am I kidding, I won't, because I read on average between like 10 and 11 books a month, and I think I'm up to like 13 right now, not including the ones that I'm like in the middle of. But if for some reason I find time, I'd really like to get to Wait Till Helen Comes by Mary Downing Hahn, because this is like a little cheesy middle grade ghost story, which y'all know is my jam. They go by really quick for me, so I really want to get to it and enjoy myself and like get myself hyped up for fall. Hey guys, future Brittany here, because I just filmed this entire video and then I started talking to Chloe and I realized that DisneyAthon was a thing, which is a readathon that's lasting a whole month. I will leave all the information linked down below, but I'm going to be Team Tangled with Chloe. I'm not going to talk about it much because this is already a super long video in my opinion, and editing Brittany is going to like hate myself. But I'm just going to use books that I've already picked out for this month in the DisneyAthon challenges. So for Team Tangled, the first challenge is Rapunzel, and that is to read a book with glowing reviews. And for this I'm going to do Station 11, which we already talked about, and I've heard nothing but good things about Station 11, so definitely going to be that. And then the second challenge is going to be Flynn Rider, and that is to read a dark and mysterious book. So again, I'm going to go for Suffer the Children, which is definitely a dark and mysterious book. The third challenge is the Snuggly Duck Crew, and this is to read a book with a dreamy cover. And for this I'm going to go with Artemis because, like, does it get more dreamier than literally an eclipse? It doesn't, so I'm just going to go with it. And the next challenge is Mother Gothel, and that is to read a book that is out of your comfort zone but also has a power-hungry main character. And I don't buy books that are out of my comfort zone because, like, I don't really have, like, a non-comfort zone. Like, everything I read I'm pretty cool with. Like, there's nothing that you could hand me that I would be like, no, this is out of my comfort zone. So, like, I'm not really sure what to go with here aside from Rune and Rising, which I'm already reading, and it definitely has, like, a lot of power-hungry main characters. And also, if I could pick any book that's out of my comfort zone, it would be this, because I legitimately hated this book the first time I read it. So, like, if anything was going to be out of my comfort zone, it would be a book that I, like, hated previously. So, definitely going to be reading this. And the last challenge is to read the group book, which is A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which I conveniently have here on my Kindle. So this is the only new edition that I will be adding to my TBR for DisneyAthon. So yeah, that's it. Nothing more. I am already too ambitious. I'm not going to finish, like, any of these because I'm going to get stressed out. So, like, we're just going to do it. We're going to have fun. I love Disney. Disney's my thing. And I think I'm just going to be having a super blast with this. So 2 readathons, a buddy read, like another buddy read. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to let you guys talk to past Brittany now. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this TBR video. Very excited for the NEWTs readathon. I'm finally going to be an herbologist in my heart. Maybe I'll even plant something this month. I don't know. We'll find out. But thank you guys for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.